Dun, dun, dun.
So chapters 22 and 23 in particular, I really enjoyed. I think there's a lot of love for A New Hope in these chapters. Like you see Timothy Zahn like laying on thick the love and the references. But this is basically where Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker, they're on the Chimera. So the whole thing, if you remember,
Getting the shit back.
Yeah, well, they want to get Card
Yes,
back.
rescue him.
And so all this stuff is kind of building up to a climax. You know, they just left Sabaoth, after kind of blasting him.
Crazy guy.
So they leave him. They go to get Card, and basically it's a lot of espionage. It's a lot of kind of spy thriller. Like they're moving around in stealth. It's really cool because the tension's high. Like, are they gonna get caught? Luke is like cutting through the floor. They dress up as Imperials.
And I thought for sure like Thrawn's gonna catch him.
Yeah,
but Thrawn's dropped the ball a couple times.
Yeah,
because it seemed like even in Heir to the Empire, he's like batting whatever was like.
Well, in
what is it?
Batting 100.
Batting 100. Yeah, and then you kind of slowly see like he's missing minor things, and he has people on his ship and doesn't even know. He's not as perfect of a villain as we all thought.
No, he's not.
But I like that. You can't have this perfect hero or perfect villain, then it's boring. Like you gotta have character.
Yeah, and I think it plays into this is a series I should revive, the Hero's Journey series. I did like one video on it and never made anything else.
Yep.
But
you and Charlie.
Yeah, we did. We got all amped and I never did anything else. But Thrawn's villain's journey, so to speak, the hero's journey though, is he started off really strong and then he's having to overcome weaknesses. He's descending deeper.
He's realizing he's not as perfect as he thought he was.
And it's going to shift the climax, which is going to be cool. But one thing that was interesting, it was kind of an awkward phrase, but Luke uses the Force to gently touch someone's mind.
The like guard?
Yeah. Because essentially, but it was really cool because he needed to go in and get, if I'm remembering, he needed to go in and get Imperial suits. So he's dressed up as Luke Skywalker and he's going to get Imperial suits. And basically when he walks in and through the Force, he like subdues their curiosity and he acts normal. And he does it long enough to where he doesn't want to slip into like Sabaoth mind control, but he does it just enough to subdue. And I was like, I love seeing these like different aspects of the Force at play. It was really cool. They go through a trash compactor.
Classic.
Again.
Classic.
Super cool. And there's some callbacks to A New Hope, which are cool. But basically, there's a parallel track going on with Thrawn and Pelion. And basically they see the skip ray come in. And this is the skip ray that Luke and Mara Jade came in. And it's just back and forth, and he orders a total shutdown and lockdown of the Chimera. And if I remember right, it's like turned off.
Yeah.
Like he turns off the ship, and so all of a sudden, Luke and Mara the ship is turned off.
Well, this may have been earlier on, but because Mara has all the codes too, he wanted to shut off so she couldn't move around.
Yeah.
If she was on the ship.
And he's like, okay, I think this is where they're like. He's like, Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker most likely are here. And then you find out, chapter 23, the Millennium Falcon is there. Or they find out, rather, that it's there. And so, it's like, lock her down so she can't get to it. So, this whole thing happens where Thrawn just super paranoid. He is like, I want to figure out how Card escaped. Because Card's gone now. And he's basically freaking out. And he lets Rook go. Like, Rook, go capture him. And Rook is brutal.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that guy.
But basically what happens is the Falcon gets off the Chimera. Chapter 23 is high action. It won't really do justice to talk about the narrative.
Right.
But, I mean, that's like peak Star Wars, at least in this book so far, peak Star Wars action.
Right.
Really, really well done. The pacing is great. Chapter 24, the next chapter, isn't bad. It's different. So
it's sad.
Yeah, so it cuts over to Leia. So you have Leia, Chewie, C-3PO,
Matriarch.
and yeah, I think it is the matriarch or something, but with the Nogri. And so Kabarak is still like detained, like the public shaming or whatever. And this is, well, why don't you talk about it just for a second? I feel like I'm just talking a bunch with the whole grass and all that.
Oh, yeah. Essentially, if I remember right, they just find out that, or they didn't know, the Nogri people didn't know that the Empire was actually poisoning their grass, but then saying that they were helping them to keep them in bondage to them, because they were giving them something to like fix it, but they were the one causing the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what makes me sad. I'm like, that's so sad.
Yeah, and it was like 44 years of like a debt slavery that they were paying to the Empire.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not the most exciting, but basically Leia's trying to be like, the Empire aren't who you think
They're
are.
terrible people.
They're actually not for you. They're against you. And
they're using you.
And they prove it.
Yep.
The proof felt a little kind of weak to me. I was just like, but I mean, it serves a point. It moves the story forward. But most importantly, the Nogri believe them and they free Kabarak, which is super cool, because he risked it all, earlier. Yeah. So, but that's 22. That's a short little section because there's a lot of action. But that's 22 through 24 of Dark Force Rising.
So what do you rate?
What do I rate it?
Don't we rate it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, when we're done with the book, we'll rate.
Oh,
I mean, overall, yeah, I'm really enjoying Dark Force Rising. I'm excited to do more. I'm excited to read more as well. But yeah, with that, if you're reading along with us, awesome. If not, just thankful that you're here for the ride. Yeah. But with that, we are two Star Wars nerds, and may the Force be with you
always.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.